Well, Southampton have officially been relegated, so they're going to be the first Premier League team we try and rebuild, getting them back into the Premier League and potentially the next 5 years back into Europe as well. That is the goal with Southampton. Not only are we rebuilding Southampton, we're using a strikerless formation, so strap yourselves in. This 5 years is going to be great fun. What's going on there, guys? Kempi here, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another rebuild, and today's rebuild is heartbreaking for Southampton fans. You guys have been relegated officially from the Premier League in the weekend, 2 weekends ago actually, I think. It's been a very poor season for Southampton, all sort of falling apart with Ralph Hasenhüttl and then going downhill with Nathan Jones. And then Ruben Senes has basically been fighting a losing battle, and Southampton have officially been relegated to the Championship for the first time in, I think, it's like 12 years. It's ridiculous. Southampton have had such a good spell in the Premier League using wonder kids and young players. I mean, Gareth Bale, Sadio Mane, Virgil van Dijk, just to name a few. And I thought, what a better way to rebuild Southampton with a youth and wonder kid rebuild. We're going to be pretty much signing the best young talent around the world and around the country. But that would be too easy to just do it that way. Southampton have got a lot of money. They've got the history. They've already got the youth facilities. So why not make it a strikerless formation as well? And if you guys have watched the Monday video, you've seen this strikerless formation. It's wild. And we've done tests on it. It's fantastic for a top side. So I expect this first season is going to go very well. However, you plug it into a team at the bottom of the league, it's horrible. So it's going to be an interesting time to see what happens as we go forward into the future. This first season, I'm expecting to win the league and get promoted. You've seen, you can obviously see already some of the transfers we've made. I'll go through all of them in just a second. But from the season 2 to 5, struggling at the bottom of the Premier League, I think if we can just survive every year and then potentially by the end of it break into mid-table, I'll be absolutely buzzing. And I hope we can do that and possibly even get into Europe by the end as well. So make sure to stick around so you can see if we do manage to achieve the goals of European football. And as always, this save file will be available to you guys to download just in the Discord link down below. Season 5 is going to be in, and that's not going to be happening for too much longer, as I do eventually make a Patreon. That is going to be exclusive to Patreon members. So when I do release that, you'll have to head over there. It won't be extortionate at all. I've sort of stopped streaming, so it'll be the same sort of price as a stream Twitch sub. So we'll go through that when the time comes. But while you can, get in and get this Southampton save, because it's going to be great fun. Obviously, transfers, you can see we've made a few, and you can see they've brought a lot of young players up to the squad. We didn't have too much money this season, but we had a lot of players that wanted to leave and a lot of players to sell. And I've tried to make this as realistic as possible. Players that wanted to leave, I've pretty much let go. Players that I think will leave in real life, just like James Ward-Prowse, I have let go. He has gone to Liverpool. I think a very realistic signing, a very realistic transfer, £22 million is about right. Mohamed Salisu has been a very good centre-back this year. He has gone to Arsenal for 18 million. Kyle Walker-Peters to Manchester City for 16 million. Kaleta Carr and Bednarak have also left. Djenepo's left. Orsic has left. Jack Stevens has left because he simply wasn't good enough. And who else has left us? So Chadams has gone out on loan. Romeo Lavia has gone to Ajax for £30 million. I mean, I'd have liked to get a bit more money for him, but he has ended up leaving as well. Paul Anuachu has left. Adam Armstrong, Elianusi, Enludu, and a few other young players have also gone. So we have had a proper clear out of all the talent in the club. Pretty much what I did is I went to the dynamic screen, and anyone that wanted to leave due to relegation, I let them go. So that included James Ward-Prowse, which is a little bit gutting because he's an absolute legend of Southampton, but I think it's going to happen in real life as well. But we've managed to spend £59 million. Obviously, we sold £170 million. So we spent 60, left 100 in the bank just to be clever, because we're going to do this realistically. We're not going to blow teams out of the water. We're going to try and do it with Wonder Kids and our youth system, because the youth system here at Southampton is fantastic. I mean, already we have got some fantastic 4.5 and 5-star players coming through the academy. Obviously, last year has already been simmed. I mean, Tyler Diblin's here in real life. He looks fantastic. He's got some great finishing. Haroun Onoja looks unbelievable. He is 16 years of age and 6'1". Alex Silwood looks fantastic. Lucius Besant looks very good. So there's already some fantastic youth players coming through the academy. But players we've signed, Matt Bidstrup has come in from Brentford, £12.5 million as a backup central midfielder. Charlie Patino has been brought in from Arsenal. I think this is a very realistic signing and one I'm actually very happy to get in. I'll go through the tactics shortly, but it's got 2 deep line playmakers in the middle, and he's going to be fantastic at that role. Just £12 million as well. He is one of the hottest prospects in the Arsenal Academy, so happy to get that one over the line. Cody Drameh has been brilliant this year for Luton at right back, and he has now been signed to play again in the Championship from Leeds for Southampton. Beshir Omragic is a centre-half from Switzerland. You guys will know who this guy is. He's from Zurich. He's got fantastic potential ability, and he's a very good player to pick up for just £7 million. Ashley Phillips, a fantastic young centre-back from Blackburn, brought in for £6.5 million. We'll see if we can get him to develop as well. Ben Wilmot from Stoke, £6.5 million. Again, 23 years of age from the Championship, a great signing. Murray Johnson from Hibernian, fantastic young Scottish goalkeeper. This guy always gets fairly good on saves, just £3.4 million for him with 5-star potential, 18 years of age. And Maxik Paktotsi, 5-star potential on a free transfer released from Spurs, has also come in. And before we do get to that formation and tactic, just show you the amount of 5-star ability players we've got on this team. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 youth 5-star players in this team. A few 4.5 stars as well, and obviously still got some experience. The team is young. I have pretty much gone for youth. Alex McCarthy is here as a 33-year-old. The next oldest is Joel Aribo on 27 years of age. So there's a lot of young talent here at the club, and hopefully it's going to be able to help us play this very high press, fast-paced, strikerless formation. In goal is a goalkeeper on defend, Gavin Bazunu, no further instructions. 2 ball-playing defenders either side, right-sided Omrejak, left-sided Bela Kotchap, fantastic young player, both with stay wider. Middle centre-back, just a ball-player defender, no further instructions, that is Lyanko. Wing-back on support on the right, stay wider, tackle harder, is Tino Livramento, who managed to keep him at the club. I'm hoping getting back promoted to Premier League, meaning he'll stay here for the rest of time, which is the hope. Roman Perraud is at left wing back, stay wider, tackle harder. 2 DLPs on support in the middle, both will tackle harder. We've got Will Smallbone, man come through the Southampton Youth Academy, has been at Stoke last season, well this season, in real life, and played 24 games in our FM save. He looks quite good actually. He's on already 3-star ability, 4-star potential ability. He's a Southampton lad, so I thought we'll get him in this midfield for this season, because if he's ever going to break in, it's going to be this year. And Carlos Alcaraz next to him as well, a very good player. Nathan Teller has come back from his loan at Burnley and is now in the starting lineup for Southampton in the Championship. He's obviously a very, very talented player. Inside forward and attack, sit narrower. Kardinum Sulemano stays here as well. Inside forward attack harder. Inside forward attack, sit narrower. And the shadow striker is Joel Aribo from obviously Rangers last season. Not quite worked out in real life, but he's got some fantastic talent. Shoot more often and tackle harder. Is set to a balanced mentality, short passing, pass into space, play out of defence, low crosses, work ball into box, overlap left and right in slightly higher tempo, take short kicks, distribute quickly, counter and counter press. It's a high press system and pressing much more often. Obviously, we haven't got a striker, so it's going to be interesting who's going to score the goals, who's going to step up. We've still got Sam Adozi, Sekou Mara, D. Edwards, I think, is a young player, Diamond Edwards at the club in real life. Tony Patino, Ibrahim Diallo. Juan Larios is a backup left-back who's got fantastic potential as well. He's probably going to start more games than Roman Perraud this season. Cody Drameh, Mads Bistrup, Ashley Phillips, Ben Wilmot and Murray Johnson make up the rest of the squad. And I'm hoping for a dominant season in the Championship. We should be able to see ourselves top of the league. We're predicted to come down in 5th place. Wolves and Bournemouth, the other 2 relegated sides. Wolves, a very strong relegated side as well. I mean, they've pretty much kept hold of everyone. Gonzalo Guedes, Mateus Cunha still here. And I'm pretty sure Matias Nunez is still here as well. So they've got some talent in the Championship. So they're going to be a tight battle. Let's go forward to the end of the first season and see if we can get the Saints up into the Premier League at the first time of asking. Just before I do show you these results for the end of season number 1, if you guys can, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go and subscribe over Sortitoutsi SI as well, and follow on all these 4 wonderful things: Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and also follow on Instagram as well, so you get all the little reels and stuff we're doing over there. Also, Wolves, 6th place this season, have not got promoted. Arnie Slot is the manager, the man potentially going to Spurs. If you want to see an Arnie Slot tactic, let me know in the description below as well. I might be making one of them fairly soon because of his impending move to Spurs. He's at Wolves in the Championship and he's not got promoted, and their players are outrageous. They have kept hold of Mateus Nunez, Gonzalo Guedes, Mateus Cunha. They've got Harvey Elliott on loan. They've got Garnacho on loan, João Moutinho, Nathan Collins Mosquera. their team is outrageous and they have not got promoted. And Raul Jimenez, they're still in the Championship after season number 1. But are we still in the Championship? No, we're not. We've won the league. 98 points is very good to see. Like I said, I expected to have quite a good season this year with this strikerless formation. It seemed to work really well in the simulations I've done with top sides. And obviously we're a top side in the Championship. So hopefully this has worked an absolute treat, and it has indeed. Ipswich, back-to-back promotions, predicted to come 16th. Kieran McKenna, we've done a Kieran McKenna tactic and an Ipswich rebuild. He's a masterclass. He's come second on 94 points. Middlesbrough and Michael Carrick coming third on 93. Bournemouth 92. Watford getting promoted as well on 87. And then Wolves 85 in the playoffs, but didn't manage to get it done. And they are out. FA Cup, we got fourth rounded by West Ham. In the Carabao Cup, we got all the way to the quarter-final and got knocked out by Manchester United. Our key players this season were sort of the players that you'd be willing to think they would be. Other than Will Smallbone, had an outrageously good first season. He actually played the majority of games as our shadow striker. So, very interesting for Will Smallbone. He has been really good. He's only got 10 finishing, but 18 goals and 8 assists with a 16 XG in 40 appearances is fantastic for Will Smallbone. Very good player. So, happy with how well he has done. Kamaldeen Sulemana as well, 18 goals, 4 assists. Doing very well off the left wing role. Joe Aribo, when he played, got 12 goals. Nathan Teller, 8 goals and 10 assists. Loyanko and Omrajak were solid at the back, both getting over a 7 average rating. Charlie Patino getting 13 assists in 43 starts as well is very good. And Tino Livramento also coming through with 11 assists. We've got £45 million to spend. And one thing I didn't show you as well is just the training facilities and youth facilities here are very good. 19 training facilities, 17 youth facilities. And when we head to the finances, we're still in the positive, which is good to see. Obviously, from getting relegated in the Premier League, that parachute payment, we've managed to keep a lot of it, especially with, not going too outrageous in terms of our signings, which was good to see. In terms of the development centre as well, there's an unbelievable player that has come through the academy. Lawrence Jones. This guy is 16 years of age. He's 2.5 star already. 5-star potential ability. He could be something unbelievably special. So is this the Ward-Prowse regen? He's even got a wonderful little unibrow as well. So fair play to Lawrence Jones. Or is it monobrow? I don't know. Haruna Onjana as well is developing very nicely. Tyler Diblin also. Jaden Megahoma, Sam Amo Amoe also developing very nicely. We've got a few 2-stars in there as well as that Lawrence Jones special talent. I'm going to see if we can get a lot of them out on loan this season because they're going to need the game time. We're not going to be able to play too many new young players this season going up into the Premier League, but we shall see. Let's get into it. Season number 2. Let's do the transfers. Let's do the simulations. See how we can do with the mighty, mighty Saints. Well, this is where we sign the cover star, Yasser Asprilla. This man is fantastic. I said we'll be signing wonder kids and talent throughout the world, and this guy has been smashing it at Watford in this save. 10 goals and 9 goals a season before. This season in the Premier League has already come through with 10 goals and 3 assists. I'm going to do it the way I've done the Schalke rebuild. I've just shown you the end of every season and going through the transfer at the start because it seemed to work quite well and you guys seem to enjoy that. So we're going to try and stick to that. If you guys do prefer the old method, let me know because I do appreciate your feedback. But Yasser Asprilla is the first man we have signed. Fantastic midfielder. We have spent a lot of money, but 24 million on him. Andrew Omamamedele is also a very good young centre-half from Ireland. He's been playing very well at Norwich and now he's in the Premier League with us. 6.71 average rating after Norwich got relegated last season. Has he managed to keep us up? We'll go through that in just a second. It'll be a little bit annoying to get relegated, but we'll check that out in a minute. 38 appearances, 2 goals from centre-half for him. Ian Maatson coming on a free contract as well as a backup left-back because Roman Perraud ends up leaving to go to Bologna, which means Juan Larios is now our starting left-back. Stuart Armstrong, Alex McCarthy, Bidstrup ended up leaving after 1 season. List, Tyler Ward and Tyler Diblin went out on loan as well. Who else have we ended up signing them? Because this is all a little bit over the place. I've just realised we've not spent 113 million. This is counting to fact our other signings as well, so I don't feel quite so bad. Ronnie Edwards has come in for 7.75 million, and that is actually it. We signed Ronnie Edwards, Omamamedele, and Yasser Asprilla. I think everyone else was from the season before, so that is quite good from me actually, as well as Ian Maatson. In terms of sales, is there anyone else major on here? James Breers left the club for 60k, so really the only big sales made were Mads Bidstrup, etc. But how have we done in the Premier League? It was tough. we have survived. 17th place, 4 points above Leeds. Ipswich going right back down, same as Watford. So we're the only team to come up and survive. And it was a very, very tough slog. A lot of the season down in 18th place. The board expectation was to fight bravely. We were predicted to come in 18th. And we've managed to just about stay above that relegation line. I mean, you can see that in the last 2 games of the season, we were in 17th. So we snuck up, we stayed up, and it was tight. And I did say this formation is very good when you're a team at the top of the league. When you're a team at the bottom of the league, much more difficult. Will Smallbone still getting 5 goals and 5 assists. Leanco 4 goals. Aribo 3 goals, 4 assists. Sulemana 3 goals, 4 assists. Nathan Teller 3 goals and 1 assist. But Yasser Asprilla was our standout man. And if we go to the report section, I think where we do sort of fall down is we've got quite a lot of 3 stars and even a couple of 2.5 stars in the starting lineup. Obviously, it is relevant to the league you are in. So, well, actually relevant to the best players at your club. And the best player is Yasser Asprilla and Tino Livramento. And if them two are the top 2 players, we're probably going to have to improve quite drastically over the next few years if we want to make it into European football. Some of the young players have done extremely well. Lawrence Jones looks outrageously good, so I'm sure he'll be coming up to the youth system this year. Arunja is now 2.5 star. Mega Homer 2.5 star. Ashley Phillips 2.5 star. So we'll see if they come up to the first team next year or even go out and get some very good loan time. £48 million in the bank. I'm not going to go over too much this season because we have fought bravely against relegation. Data Hub, the goals conceded was 2, which is a lot, and we have not scored enough goals. So we have literally snuck through the skin of our teeth. Let's see, season 3, let's build on this. Let's get clear relegation and let's try and get at least to the 40-point mark. I mean, we were 7 points off this season, so 40 points is the aim next season. Let's go and get that done. Quite a cool signing we ended up making this season was Riyad Mahrez on a free contract. He left Man City in 2024 to go to Marseille. He's come back to the Premier League to retire at Southampton. 7 goals and 9 assists from right wing. Needed the cover star. Fantastic player in real life, Riyad Mahrez. And it was great to have him at our club. Unbelievable player. A few players that have left as well. Ibrahima Diallo, Samuel Adozi, Ben Wilmot, Leanco have all ended up leaving the club this season. And players we've signed. So the big one coming in is Chris Metham. £20 million you saw last season. We had 2.5 star centre back. So it was time to improve that. And Chris Metham for £20 million and Nathan Collins for 18.5 were the 2 signings I ended up making. Very hard to find players that are willing to come to a relegation battling team. Luis Henrique is a left winger we signed from Brazil. He looks absolutely fantastic. He is from Botafogo, 6 goals and 3 assists in his first season for us. Fantastic crossing, dribbling, first touch, long shots, passing, acceleration and pace as well was also very good. So happy to get him in. And then we've got 3 players we signed on young players. We pretty much signed them and loaned them out. Thomas Maragone signed and loaned out. He's now worth £40 million. Ahmed Al-Orani has been loaned out to Châteauroux. Worth £70 million, this guy. He looks fantastic. Signed for just £1.8 million. And Thomas Yara signed for 200k as a backup left back, worth £50 million. And the last signing we made is Lovro Zovanek as well. Free contract from Bayern Munich after he signed from Slaven Belupo in real life. Very good for us this season. 30 games, 7 goals and 2 assists. But how did we do? We stayed just about fine. It was tight. We were 2 points away from the 40 mark and only 1 point above safety. I mean, United finishing 14th, Spurs finishing 15th. We just about snuck into 17th place. Fulham are Champions League next year, but another season where it was very, very tough. I mean, Yasser Asprilla, again, doing very, very well for us. Let's go back to that selection info. He scored 12 goals from that cam roll, 3 assists. Zovnek with 8 goals, 2 assists. Mahrez doing well. Enrique doing well. Sulemana doing well. Omabamdele doing well. Patino, a 7.05 average rating, getting 2 goals and 5 assists. Has been fantastic in midfield. Very happy with him. Worth now £50 million. And one man I want to just quickly drop a mention to as well is Will Smallbone. He is now 124 games in for Southampton. This guy's played 27 appearances for Ireland. And to be honest, I don't know how he's doing in real life at Stoke, but I've not heard a lot of Will Smallbone since his massive injury. So it's good to see that he's now basically just a Southampton regular and he's taken over that Ward-Prowse role, which is great to see. He might even be our captain. If he is, that is beautiful. I'm pretty sure he actually is. Is he? He is. He's even the captain, Will Smallbone, absolute legend. Vice captain is Tino. Hot prospect is Keith. He is 5-star. Big Keith Wright, looks fantastic. Kayo Jones-Vaughan, also 5-star potential. And this season, we did end up loaning out a lot of our very good players. Lawrence Jones has played 46 appearances for Swansea in the Championship, a 6.76 average rating, but a very, very key game time. Haroun Onoja as well, 42 appearances out on loan at Luton, scoring 5 goals and 2 assists for him. Tyler Diblin's going out there and getting game time. Lucius Besant, also the same. So the youth system is still very strong. We've got a lot of 5-star players throughout the whole under-18s, under-21s and the squad as well. There's a lot of talent here at Southampton. It's just time to make that talent good enough. I want this season, now we've got back-to-back safeties. I want to finish mid-table, and last season we want Europe. That is the goal. How much money have we got? £49 million. The money, finances-wise, are looking alright. We've got £19 in terms of our balance, 67 in terms of debt. So we're just about staying alive, which is good to see. And we're obviously just using... I mean, if we just sold a few of these unbelievable talents, I mean, if we just sorted this quickly by, is it contract where you can see the value? We've got some unbelievable value in just this alone. And then you go to the under-21s, and the value in here is outrageous as well. And the under-18s, the value there is outrageous. So there's money throughout the club. So if we needed to sell, we could. But building... I'd say a more Southampton level club than what it has been in the last year and a half, 2 years, which is good to see. So I'm happy with how the rebuild is going. The next season, like I say, we need to break clear now. Mid-table, 50 points. Let's go and get that done. If you guys can quickly just make sure as well just to like the video, it does help out massively. There's about 80% of you right now that are not subscribed to the channel. So if you've ever watched one of my rebuilds and you have enjoyed it, just hit that subscribe button. It helps me so much. And also leave a like and a comment, because believe it or not, a comment helps push this video to so many new people. So just simply put Saints down there, or your favourite signing in this rebuild, or your favourite rebuild I've ever done. It all helps out so much. So just get down there and have a little bit of interaction, because it helps massively. Now this summer has been absolutely massive. Hamid Traore is our big boy signing. He is fantastic. £29 million we spent on him. He scored 17 goals and got 10 assists in his first season. He was actually playing in the cam role and sometimes on left wing and sometimes even in centre mid. So very good to see him doing absolute work. Marcelo has joined from Levante. He's an unbelievable wonder kid. I mean, £12.5 million, worth £70 million already, extremely consistent. 40 appearances in the Premier League, 1 goal, 1 assist. He was doing bits over at Levante, playing regular games in La Liga. So he was ready to come in from 18 years of age, and he is now here at 20, and he's fantastic. He's got the Holy Trinity: 15 heading, 15 marking, 18 tackling, 19 balance, 16 jump reach, 18 anticipation, 18 bravely. So fantastic signing in Marcelo. Just say a few players that have left the club as well. Bella Kotchap has left. Alcaraz never really developed, has left. Doyle Charles have left. And on loan again this season was Tyler Diblin, Ashley Phillips, Jaden Megahoma and Chow Jones-Vaughan. And actually Haroun Onoja went to Bournemouth this season. Again, doing very well, developing out there. So happy with him. A few more big boy signings. Again, this is sort of mixed with last year. Matteo Fav has come in. And how good does this guy look? Signed from FC Metz. He had a 7.41 average rating last season. The way I sort of find players still was just by doing the whole transfer, scouting players, wait for it to be some recommended. And pretty much what I do when I try and sign young players is I set the edit search to be normally 23 years of age. I'll take off centre back because obviously that is what I was looking for at the time. And I just, you know, if they're A+ or A rated, I'll look down. If this guy's worth 17.5 million, Jose Ignacio Luque, I'll look at his stats. He looks fantastic. I was surprised I didn't sign him because he looks brilliant. 8.4 million, 20 years of age. He's obviously 3-star ability. This is just from the scout and transfer tool. So again, I'll be looking at sort of their ability. Maybe I'll sort it by ability. And if there's a play here for 11.5 million, I know I went for this guy this summer. Outrageous. He's wanted by Arsenal, Palace and Tottenham. So you know he's going to be good. You can sign so many players simply by just letting your scouts do their thing. I honestly don't really touch scouting all that much. I always make sure I'm doing world scouting. I'm at a big club. And then let the scouts do their work because that's what they're there to do. And they find you some unbelievable talent. I mean, if we just scrolled out, £6 million, Thomas Perez, he's 22 years of age. How bloody good does he look? Why have I not signed him? Fantastic. So there's players out there you can just sign like that. In case anyone thinks I'm doing some dodgy work in terms of transfers, that's pretty much all I do. It's nothing special. But if you've been struggling to find young wonder kids, That's how I do it, and it works quite well. Matteo Favre, unbelievable player, 17 flair, 17 technique, 16 dribbling, crossing, first touch, free kick taking, 18 agility, 17 pace. He's French, he's 6 foot, he's already got 4 caps for France and 6 goals. What? This guy is an absolute talent, and we signed him for how much? What, £12 million? 12.5 rising to 13. So a great signing there from us. Christian Bengtsson, a 6'7" Danish centre-half, 20 years of age, already got 11 appearances, signs from Copenhagen, scored 4 goals for us this season, and is just an outrageously good player. 15 heading, 20 jump and reach. I bet you he's not even on. I don't know if I've got the corner tactics set up correctly. I actually have. Is he on him? He's not on him. If Bengtsson was on this, rather than being at the far post, if he was in there, he'd have scored 40 goals this season. So, again, if you guys want to download these corner tactics, they are on all of my... what's it called? All of my tactics that I upload, they all just come with that. That's how I found them, to be honest, from Sortitoutsi. So they are fantastic. I've spoiled it. We've got 51 points this season. We've done very, very well. We got to the magic 50 points mark, which is what I wanted. And next year, it's European football, hopefully. I don't know if I'm done on signings. I didn't mean to click that, to be honest. Tommaso Herrera's come in, £5 million, young backup right back. Thomas Mangarone, El Arami, they all come in already, and they're all gone. So that's fine. Looking at the squad, again, the value here is outrageous, which is lovely to see. The reports, everyone here has got 5-star potential, which is lovely to see. And if we look at the selection info as well, we've had a few players have fantastic seasons. Asprilla, 16 goals, 11 assists. Hamatore, 17 goals, 10 assists. Matteo Favre, 11 goals, 3 assists. Charlie Patino, 1 goal and 4 assists. He's done really well this season. Very happy to see how well he has developed. Sulemana, 2 goals, 2 assists, not playing too much. Zrovnek, 2 goals, 3 assists. Henrique, 6 goals, 4 assists. Lawrence Jones did come into the squad this season, 5 games only. Hasn't developed quite as much as I'd hoped. He looked outrageous. I'm hoping he does get better. So we'll see what he can do. Alan Morani as well, obviously a player we signed, looks outrageously good. He seems to get better at that finishing. And then he'll be an absolute demon for us. Development centre, I mean, it's just an absolute conveyor belt of talent. There's only a couple in there, actually, and only a few in there, so it's dropping off a little bit. But Haruna looks fantastic, a fantastic season on loan at Bournemouth. But this season, now end of season 5, I like to try and give this to you guys with something at the end of it where you guys can take it on. So I'm praying we get European football. That is the goal this season. I think we can do it. We've got another £50 million to spend. Finances wise, again, we're absolutely fine. I mean, we could literally pay off all this with selling one of these wonderkid players. So we'll see what we can do. Season 5, let's go. Let's go and get Europe. So we signed just 2 players for our last season. I believed in the youth we have got at the club. Francisco Roa has been signed. He's now worth £60 million. We signed him for 16. He's an outrageously good young Spanish right winger signed from Leganes. 18 games this season, 4 goals and 3 assists. And the other signing we ended up making was Daniel Santana, £18.5 million. How good does this guy look as a deep line player? American sport, outrageous. He's worth £100 million. Signed from Flamengo. 3 goals and 9 assists this season. I mean, these players we're signing are unbelievable. And I'm very happy with how this season has gone. In terms of players going out on loan as well, we didn't end up actually keeping Lawrence Jones at the club this season. He went back out on loan to Watford and has had a decent season at Watford. When Watford are in the Championship, he only started 16 games, having 26 out on loan. So he's dropped to 2-star current ability, 4-star potential, but we are signing some unbelievable players. So maybe he's just not quite as good as we maybe hoped he would be. How have we done this season? Well, considering we're using a strikerless formation, we have built Southampton to 6th place in the Premier League. 3 points outside of Champions League football. I am buzzing with how this season went. Very, very happy indeed. I mean, in terms of the goals here, you can see 26 from Matteo Favre. He's been unbelievable. 14 caps for France now, 11 goals. His value is fantastic. He's wanted all over the place. Has he got any sort of relegation release fee clause? He has 66 million. Try and tie this guy down to a new contract. He is unbelievable and could potentially be one of the best players in the world. Hamatore, 20 goals in that cam roll as well. fantastic signing. Yasser Asprilla getting 9 goals, only 19 appearances, but still doing very well for us now, 24 years of age. Luis Enrique doing bits. Francisco Roa doing bits, average rating-wise. Daniel Santana on a 7.2 as well. 3 goals, 9 assists. Unbelievable sign. Like I said, now worth £100 million. There's some absolute talent at this club. We have rebuilt Southampton using the way they do it in real life. Signing players from young that no one really knows. And we've managed to bring them into the team, giving them the trust. And they have worked absolute wonders. If you guys have enjoyed this rebuild, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, stay around for more content, and I'll speak to you next time. That's it then, Leeds have been relegated, and now it's time to give them the Kempi rebuild on Football Manager. Last week we rebuilt Southampton, today is Leeds, Sunday is Leicester. The 3 relegated Premier League sides are all going to have their Kempi rebuild. On Monday we built a Marcelo Bielsa murder ball 4-1-4-1. The Leeds fans love Bielsa even to this day, so it's time to use that tactic and see how far we can take Leeds in the next 5 years using Marcelo Bielsa's murder ball 4-1-4-1. What's going on there, guys? Kempi here, and welcome back to another rebuild, another video on the channel, and thank you for coming back yet again. It means everything to me that you guys are coming back for these rebuilds, and I'm so thankful to every single one of you. If you can, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. That would mean an absolute world to me. Now, I've got the save set up. We are in 2023. Leeds have just been relegated from the Premier League. It's absolute heartbreak for Leeds. And you can see as well, if we head over to the dynamic screen, everyone, and I mean pretty much everyone, wants to leave the club. So I'm going to try and make this as realistic as possible. I like doing my rebuilds to the full realistic extent that I can, and if there's players that want to leave the club, I'll be letting them leave the club. Now, value-wise, there's some top players at the club. Brendan Aronson worth £40 million. Joe Gelhardt does not want to leave the club and certainly will be staying around this Leeds club. Joffy is loved by Leeds fans, and there is strong reason for that as well. He's done very well at Sunderland in real life, and even on this game file, actually 18 goals and 5 assists for Sunderland, as they ended up not getting promoted either, which is a little bit heartbreak for them. But Joffy will be staying around. I imagine Geronimo Ruta will be leaving. It's going to be very difficult to keep around Willie Nonto, but I'm going to be trying. Francisco Somerville is hopefully someone that will stay around as well. And there's also some decent players out on loan. I mean, Mateusz Bogus is a 4.5-star potential Polish midfielder playing currently in Ibiza, living at large. So maybe he's going to come back to Leeds and have a good time. And there's one more as well that I want to show you guys. His name is DJ. It's Dan James, the pace demon. Can he do? I think he's going to stay for this championship season. He's a little bit disappointed about us going down, but we're going to try and keep him this season. The 19 acceleration, the 19 pace. He's hopefully going to be very good for us. Now, you might not have seen the Bielsa murder ball 4-1-4-1, but this is how it sets up. It's a sweeper, keeper on defend in goal with no further instructions. A wing back on support, and the right back sit narrower, no further instructions. 2 ball playing defenders just in front of the keeper. On pass, it's shorter, with a wing back on support on the left with stay wider. You got an anchor man in the DM role. I have explained very much of this formation. If you guys want a full explanation of how this formation works and why a few things might be missing, as in a higher defensive line, I'll tell you now. It's because you can't get it working on this year's FM, in my experience. If you want a full breakdown of a few positions that maybe aren't quite the Bielsa style, head over to the tactic video and you can find that there. That should be linked above if I've done my job. Now, the right mid is roam from position and tackle harder, inverted winger, and that is the exact same on the left wing role. And Mazzala on support is the left centre mid, dribble more, close down more, tackle harder. A box-to-box midfielder on the right with close down more and tackle harder. And an advanced forward up front and attack with roam from position and tackle harder. In possession, it is set to shorter passing, pass it into space, play out of defence, whipped crosses, work the ball into the box, be more expressive, a slightly higher tempo and fairly narrow. In transitions, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the playmaker, the anchorman, and take short kicks. And out of possession, it's a high press system. It's triggering the press as much as possible, preventing that short goal distribution and pressing inside. We've got lots of money to spend, £15 million, £346 in the wage bill as well. I imagine we're going to get quite a lot of money from players we do end up selling, so it's going to be quite a busy summer window. The facilities here at Leeds are top class, 18 training facilities, 17 youth facilities. So it's going to be interesting to see what we can do. A lot of money in the bank, 65 million. Obviously, it's going to shoot up very soon from the parachute payments of being relegated. So we'll see how far we can take Leeds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it the way I've been doing the rebuilds recently. I'll go forward every single year and show you guys the transfers and then the results all in the same, because you guys seem to absolutely love that. So let's get forward to the end of season number 1. Hopefully, automatic promotion from the Championship. If you guys can, quickly make sure as well just to like the video, subscribe to the channel and follow on all these 4 wonderful things, and also Instagram. I've also now got a Patreon, which is where this Leeds rebuild will be. You'll be able to pick it up, I believe it's £5 a month. You'll be able to pick up the rebuild save files at the end of season number 5, and if you want sort of season 3, season 2, season 4, I'll be able to send them to you individually as well. But season 5 will be automatically available for you on there. They're no longer going to be in the Discord file. The Discord is still available down in the description. You know, we just have a little banter on there. There's over 250 of you legends in there, and you also get the tactic files, etc. They are going to be not exclusive to the Patreon. Obviously, I'm not selling my tactics, just the rebuilds. They take a lot of time for me to make, and to be honest, the support has been fantastic from you guys, so I decided to just switch over to there. And now, in terms of the transfers, we've brought in £104 million in player sales. A lot of players have left the club. I've made a few calls which I think Leeds fans will not like, but we shall see. Ilya Meslier, I think, is actually quite a good goalkeeper in real life. It's an awful year, obviously, but he wouldn't leave the club. We're going to get £23 million for him. He's already valued at £50 million over at Hertha Berlin, but a very good keeper, but was not staying around the club. Luis Sinisterra, another player I think is fantastic in real life, was fuming that we were relegated, so he's left for £14.5 million. Sheffield United, who've just come 15th in the Premier League, which is a little bit annoying. Pascal Struijk, another player that I don't think is good enough. He's worth a little bit of money. £13 million. He's gone. Sonny Perkins is someone that I actually really wanted to keep around the club. He's a fantastic young player. He's got 4.5 star potential, but £15 million at this stage, you can't really turn that one down. Mark Rocker, again, was fuming. Obviously, he's been at Bayern Munich, you know, for like 3 or 4 years before coming to Leeds, so he's got some top standards. As he is left to go to Brighton for £8.5 million. Robin Koch has left to Verona. Patrick Bamford was already done before I got here to Mainz. Bamford probably would have stayed around and been with Joffrey as our 2 strikers this season, but he was already out the door, so don't shoot me that Bamford is gone. Diego Llorente has gone to Salzburg for £6.5 million. Tyler Roberts has gone to Freiburg. Jack Harrison has gone to Club America. Again, he just did not want to be at the club at all. He was absolutely fuming, so he has gone. Junior Firpo, again, I sort of tried to be a little bit realistic. He's obviously from Barcelona, so he has gone. And a few other players in Helder Costa, Stuart Dallas, Ian Poveda, Rodrigo, Vasilev, and Luke Ayling has gone to Real San Sebastian. Now, Luke Ayling, to be honest, I just don't like at all, and I never want to manage him, and that might be my United fan side coming out, but Luke Ayling, 32 years of age, he's not good enough. Goodbye, mate. Now, I did manage to keep hold of Willy Gnonto and Geronimo Ruta, but they were both not happy at being in the club, so I decided to make it as realistic as possible and loaned them out. So Ruta went on loan to Cologne, scored 12 goals in 21 games in the 2nd tier of the Bundesliga, and Willy Gnonto went to Venezia in Italy and scored 20 goals in 37 games, which is very, very good. So I'm happy we managed to keep hold of both of them, with them just going out on loan and, you know, not having to deal with this championship season. I was quite happy with that. Now, moving on to our transfers, we spent 38 million at 104, which I thought was very realistic, around £70 million not spent. And the first signing is Tyler Bury from Millwall. He's a 23-year-old. He's from Jamaica and England. He's very, very fast. He's got good off the ball and good work rate. Good dribbling, good crossing. You can see this season in the Championship, 18 goals and 3 assists from that right mid role is fantastic. So very happy with Tyler Bury coming in. Mason Burstow is a young 6'2" striker that came in, also English and Jamaican, which is quite cool. 8 games, 16 off the bench, just scoring 1 goal and getting 1 assist was not a fantastic signing, and it's probably going to be sold to try and recoup that £9.5 million. Josh Tyman, a £7.5 million signing from Stoke, I believe he is. He is indeed. 43 games this season, 3 goals, 10 assists at left back. Joel Bacon was his backup, a decent young left back from Cardiff for £5 million. Ayet Muric is a fantastic goalkeeper who last season conceded 31 for Burnley, conceded just 34 this season with 19 clean sheets here at Leeds, which might give you some instinct of where we come in the league. He's a fantastic goalkeeper at 25 years of age, obviously coming through the Manchester City Academy. And Tony Springer as well was signed as a backup winger. Awful signing, didn't do anything all season. A 6.67 average rating, but it didn't stop us from coming second in the league. Now, Everton absolutely stormed it. I couldn't control. I managed to basically find a save file where Leeds were relegated. Forest and Everton also relegated. And Everton absolutely stormed the league with Wayne Rooney in charge, scoring 107 points and 39 goals from Calvert-Lewin in the Championship. So, you know, we'll take it. We come second. It's not first place. And literally as well, Nottingham Forest and Blackburn both on 90 points. On the last day, we pipped second place. So just by 1 point is very good to see. It's nice to be back in the league. And you can see the bottom as well. Top goal scorer, Joel Geltart. He had a great season. 20 goals and 3 assists for him. Tyler Bury with 18 goals, 3 assists. Dan James, he's Championship level, isn't he? Let's be honest. 14 goals and 6 assists. Francisco Somerville with 9 goals, 8 assists in 28 games. Maxi Verba ended up staying around, 8 goals, 1 assist. Brendan Aronson stayed around as well, 4 goals and 10 assists. Josh Tyman, Mateus Bogus, Tyler Adams stayed around. He's the captain of the club, so I thought it would be realistic that he would actually end up staying. Obviously, he's had some game time in America, come over to Germany and played 75 games for Leipzig, and he's a very, very good player, but he's the captain, so I decided to keep him around. Charlie Creswell, fantastic young player on loan at Millwall in real life, played 38 games for us this season, doing very, very well. Burstow not doing too well at all. Jamie Shackleton, another fantastic young player, stayed at the club, 42 games this season. Liam Cooper, 23 games, 18 off the bench as well. 32-year-old, he's Leeds through and through. He is now gone to go and join Sassuolo in Italy, which is quite nice for him. Rasmus Christensen stayed around as well, 38 games in the Championship. Come from Salzburg, so thought he maybe not be pushing for a move quite as much as some of the others. Archie Gray played 28 games on the bench. Again, fantastic talent on him, 5-star potential. Hjelde is a very good young Norwegian centre-back as well that I've had an eye on for quite a few years. Cody Drama, quite a lot of talk about him. Literally today as I record this about whether he's going to be going to Luton on a permanent or staying with Leeds in the Championship. He looks very good. Played 10 games, 26 off the bench for us. Joel Bagan did alright, and Muric as well with 47 appearances. So we are promoted. We are back in the Premier League. We're back in the big time. The first time of asking is fantastic to see. £47 million to spend, £600,000 in wage budget, and the finances look beautiful. We've got no debt. We've got overall balance of 58 million. It's stunning to see. Now, the club vision, obviously, they want us to avoid relegation from the Premier League next season. Hopefully, we can do that. And especially as well, as there's some fantastic young players coming through the academy. We've still got Nonto to come back in. We've got Ruta to come back in. The Mateo Josef is a young Spanish striker. Fantastic potential. Sam Greenwood, I don't think's ever going to actually make it for us. He's not as good as Joel Geltart, and I can't have Joel Geltart, him, and Nonto, so he's probably end up leaving eventually. And some more great potential. Adam Bowden, young fullback, looks very, very good. The academy here is it 17? Now 16. So some very good young players are going to be coming through this Leeds team. But now is where we get to go back on the full rebuild. 4 seasons. How far can we get in the Premier League? Let's go to season number 2. I'll show you the transfers and how we done in the first season in the Premier League. First of all, I am buzzing the fact we managed to keep Willy Gnonto at the club. 25 goals in the Premier League this season and 5 assists is exactly why I did not want to sell Willy Gnonto. We managed to stay, we managed to keep him happy, and he's now going to be a Leeds legend. First season in the Premier League, he done fantastic. Now, the other signings and sales that have been made, not too many sales. In fact, no sales pretty much of main players, which is interesting to see, but a lot more money has been spent. Now, some of this is from last season, some from this season. The first signing, a bit of a weird one, but again, quite realistic in my opinion. Harrison Reed from Fulham. Now, this guy has been fantastic for Fulham this season in that centre mid role, and I thought, why not bring him in to Leeds? £15 million, I think is what he spent for him, which is quite a lot. I'll give you that. I've got no idea why these 3 are showing there. The game keeps bugging like that recently, but he played 32 games for us in the Premier League. Done very well as well indeed. As a box-to-box midfielder, this guy is brilliant. Even as an anchorman in defend as well, covering off Tyler Adams. Fantastic. Great signing at 30 years of age as well. Adds a bit of steel, adds a little bit of fight. He's got 17 work rate, 17 teamwork. So he is brilliant for a Marcelo Bielsa system. Next signing we have made is Scott McKenna, 1.6 million from Luton. They obviously signed him from Nottingham Forest after being promoted. He come in this season as a backup, 17 appearances, decent older centre-back. Again, little bit of experience on him. Next signing is Mikael Damsgaard. We went big on this one. Brentford were relegated into the Championship, so Mikael Damsgaard came in for £40 million. It's showing the weird same three clubs again, but 3 goals and 7 assists in the Premier League for us is very, very good. And I'm very happy with the signing of Damsgaard. Fantastic young talent. Amazing for Denmark in the World Cups recently. So he is in as well. A big signing as well, that one. Maxi Cornet, £17 million from West Ham. He's a very good backup winger. And that is it. But Maxi Cornet as well, £17 million. Let's just get into him a little bit. Didn't play too much for us. We spent quite a lot on him. 12 games, 17 appearances off the bench. Just 1 goal and 1 assist is not good enough. But we'll see how far it got us. It got us to 10th in the Premier League, which I'm very happy with. And Nonto comes 3rd in the top goal scorers list. Arsenal have Osimhen. City have Haaland. We have Willy Nonto. And that's very, very good for us because we've got someone that can carry us through the hard times. I mean, to show you, he scored 25 goals, 5 assists this season. The next best was Dan James, who somehow played 35 games in the Premier League. I will never know. 8 goals, 8 assists. Tyler Adams getting 5 goals, 8 assists. Shackleton still at the club, doing bits as well. Ashley Phillips is another centre-back we did sign on the next page. £15 million. This guy is always a little bit hit and miss on my saves. Sometimes he's a wonder kid. Sometimes he's a championship level centre-back. It seems like this one, he's an absolute demon. So we brought him in for £15.5 million. Verba is doing very well as well. Christensen, Timon, Adams, Dan James playing the majority of games. Harrison Reed, Brendan Aronson, no goals but 6 assists this season. Damsgaard from the left doing very well. Clayton, Drame, McKenna, Creswell, Bagan as the backup defence. Bogus, Tyler Burry, Shackleton, Gray, Somerville are the backup midfielders, with Joffy as the backup striker and Cornet as the backup everything really. Winger, midfielder, striker. He could do it all. But 10th place in the Premier League, very happy to see. 5th round in the FA Cup, a little bit disappointing. 3rd round in the Carabao Cup, a little bit disappointing. Season 3, how can we do? We've got lots of money yet again. I mean, the money is pretty much gone, but we've got 46 million to spend, which hopefully we can spend very wisely. So let's go forward. Season 3, can we break into Europe? Well, breaking into Europe was the plan, and it's not quite how it went. To be honest, you can see from the graph, we actually had a very good spell in the middle of the season, sitting in 4th, 5th side in the Premier League, but eventually it tailed off to where we were 13th in the space of 2 or 3 weeks, which probably shows how close this season has been. And we ended up finishing in 13th as well, 51 points. I think it's the exact same as last season, but just 8 points off Europa Conference League space. It's been a tough year. I mean, there's a clear winner in this league. Liverpool, 88 points, 19 points clear of Manchester City. So, quite a tough league. The rest is all very, very tight. I mean, you've got the bottom 2 of Burnley and Fulham, who did absolutely shocking. Villa and Brentford were then a mile off. Wolves, Bournemouth, and then pretty much right up to 8th place. So, quite a competitive Premier League season. In terms of transfers for this season, we've got 54 million spend next season, but we've brought in Ben Godfrey for 13 million from Sheffield United. Very good English ball playing defender. Top talent, just needs to rediscover his form in real life. Javo Darussalan as well, a very good young Dutch winger, has come in. In terms of sales, Ruta was sold to Bordeaux as have a place for him in these squads. Seiko Fofana, fantastic midfielder. Anyone who plays FIFA, eFootball, you'll love this guy. He's fantastic on them games. So he's come in on this one, got 3 goals, 5 assists as a box-to-box midfielder on a free contract from RC Lens. Very good signing. Jed Spencer's come in as well. 0 goals, 0 assists. Not a very good season, to be honest. We paid £30 million for him. So a little bit disappointed in Jed Spencer. Maybe looking to improve that right-back position already. And then our first region we have signed is Nunzio Sangiali. Is a young Italian goalkeeper from Cagliari. Played a few games in the Serie A last season. Is going to be a backup to Muric for us. A few more sales of 47 million. Namely Rasmus Christensen for 23, which is why we ended up signing Jed Spence. Sam Green has left the club for 9 million. Lewis Bate has left the club for 5 million. After a few years of being a backup here, he has now left. He's on a loan at Reading, a loan at Salento, and now he's gone to Salento. So we've lost Lewis Bate, but to be honest, didn't quite live up to his potential. Tyler Bury of our first season did very, very well. He's left to go to La Liga, and to be honest, played 31 games in La Liga. Have got relegated, but decent season for him. I think if you offered them that now in real life, they'd bite your hand off. Burstow's left to go to West Brom. Maxi Verber's left to go to Lejanes for 2.3 million. I don't know why we sold him. It's left my head. Probably replaced him. We did replace him, I think. Did we? Ben Godfrey. That's why we replaced him. 2.3 million is quite poor, though, to be honest, in terms of getting money back for him. But we move on. We've got lots of money in the bank. Top performance this season. Obviously, not Mateus. Obviously, Joffrey with 5 games, 9 goals is decent. Where is Willie Gnonto? He had a shocker season. 14 goals. A 6.74 average rating. That needs to be picked up, Gnonto. 39 games. Let's hope he does better this season. No one really consistently above the 7 rating. Adams played 36 games, 6.96. So he was our best performer this season. Again, development centre, there's some decent young players. It's sort of tailing off a little bit. This 16 youth facilities aren't really getting us too much top talent, so hopefully eventually we do get Kazam come through. Season 4 is going to need to be a big year because I want to finish this in the Champions League. So currently 13th, let's go ahead to season number 4. Can we get into Europe? Yes, we can. We ended up coming in 6th place, clear of any sort of doubt of getting into the Europa League. 3 points clear of Spurs is fantastic. It's us and Crystal Palace. United come 11th, getting Europa Conference League. 12th place Leicester getting Europa League. So they must have won the FA Cup. United have won the Carabao Cup, which means 9 teams next season are going to be in the European competitions for England, which is fantastic to see, to be honest. A bit of English dominance in football was lovely. Wigan obviously coming in 6th place is very good. 10 points off of that top 5, with 5th place now getting a Champions League position. That was Newcastle, Chelsea in 4th, City, Liverpool, Arsenal doing very well in this version of simulation. Them and Liverpool dominating. Haaland might score 40 goals, twice as many as our boy Willie Gnonto, but he's not lifted any trophies, which is fantastic for me to see. Makes me laugh just a little bit. Gnonto, 23 goals, 4 assists, a 7.08, a much better season this season. The other transfers we made to get us up to the mark, starting off with Kyle Walker-Peters, £28 million, rising to 35, a much better defensive right back than Jed Spence. That is why he has come in. 6.87 rating is quite good as well. So happy with that signing. Anthony Patterson, the Sunderland goalkeeper in real life, has moved to Southampton in our save, and then we've poached him from there. 54 goals conceded overall this season. Isn't too bad, just 46 in the Premier League, just over a goal a game, but a very good English goalkeeper. £20 million, not a bad signing whatsoever, and he is now going to be our main goalkeeper because Muric has left to Borussia Dortmund for £9 million, and you can imagine he didn't want to turn that one down. He's played 9 games in the Champions League, 31 in the Bundesliga, so fair enough, we had to replace him. And one signing that was massive, the cover star, Noni Madueke. Now, we spent a solid £45 million on this man. He's come in 11 goals, 9 assists. He is going to be pivotal to us if we can do well in the Europa League and hopefully get into the Champions League, finishing them top 4/5 positions. Jurgen Eckelkamp as well, an unbelievable free signing from Antwerp. This guy is unbelievable. 38 games this season, 2 goals, 8 assists, but a 7.11 average rating is fantastic. And Sergio Gomez as well, the forgotten man at Manchester City. How did he get a Premier League medal? I've got no idea. I've not seen him play all season, but he's done quite well for us. 31 games, 5 goals, 7 assists from left back is lovely to see. Was there any sales on there of no other than Muric? There was not, which means the squad is looking very similar to how it has been. We'll show it in the tactics screen because it's quite nice to see. It's Patterson in goal. It's Walker-Peters, Phillips and Godfrey with Gomez at left back. It's a nice 4 out of 5 English core there in the defence, which is quite a realistic thing, I suppose. Adams in DM, still here as the captain of the club. Madueke out on the right. Fofana and Echokamp in midfield is superb. Damsgaard on the left, Nonso up front. Still keeping some fantastic Leeds youth as well. We've got Saginelli, Jed Spence, Brendan Aronson, Joel Geltart, Charlie Creswell, Harrison Reed, Max Cornet, Josh Timon, Derusalon, Sarah Cisco Somerville, Scott McKenna, Archie Gray and Cody Drammer are still around and still very good backups for this sort of level of club. They're playing a decent amount of games when Harrison Reed's still getting 20 games. Scott McKenna's getting 30 overall. Brendan Aronson played 40 games this season, to be honest, replacing Seiko Fofana. It was probably more likely Aronson and Echokamp in midfield, which is interesting. Very attacking, a lot of energy, which is exactly what you need in a Marcelo Bielsa system. In 15 work rate and 14 work rate between the two of them is wonderful to see. Nonto is scoring the goals. The wingers are now also Damsgaard scoring 14 this season. Madueke getting 11. They are doing much more positive in terms of goals scored. We are now well above average on 1.92 and above average on conceding as well, just 1.21. It's lovely to see. Now, Development Centre still not kicking out any supreme talent is really annoying. We've still got a good, nice amount of money in the bank. They want us to reach the later stages of the Europa League. They want us to finish mid-table in the Premier League. Well, I'm going for a top four finish and a trophy because we need a trophy. We got semi-finaled by Arsenal in this one. So a trophy and Champions League. I'm asking for a lot. Let's see what we can do transfers-wise. Then I'll reveal the big deal. Did we manage to secure Champions League in just 5 years from the Championship? Just before I do reveal if we got Champions League football and the signings we made, can you make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel? And also, obviously, if you do want to pick up from this end of Season 5 point, come over to the Patreon as well and just help support me over there. There is one person that's done it so far. Brandon, you're an absolute legend. Massive shout out to Brandon. And also, once we get sort of a few names that I can put on the screen, they'll be coming down the screen at this sort of point in the video as well. So if you want your name in the video and you want to support me and you want to also get these rebuild fires, head over to the Patreon. Now we've got a Europa League final against Borussia Dortmund. I'm going to try and remember to blur the score out at the top. We've got Echokamp in midfield. He finds Ivan Susic. He finds Geltart and he makes it 1-0 to Leeds. Joe Geltart scoring in the Europa League final against Borussia Dortmund. Noni Madueke on the ball. Finds Echokamp. Plays it in behind to Ivan Susic again. Sets it back to Geltart and he grabs a brace for Leeds United. It's 2-0 in 29 minutes. Schlotterbeck picks up the ball. High press in midfield. They do manage to break through that. Bino Gittins, a fantastic ball to Henrique Araujo, who we know from recent saves is fantastic. He makes it 2-1. Now Dortmund on the ball again. It's Brahim Diaz, a fantastic talent again on this game. Driving into the box. Finds Scovolson in the back. And it's 2-2. Is it going to be heartbreak? It's Dortmund again. It's Schlotterbeck on the ball. 68th minute now. Long ball over the top. Henrique Araujo is here to break our hearts. Patterson saves it, but it does end up in the back of the net. There's another highlight. It's Sergio Gomez. Whips it in. Ashley Phillips at the back post. It's 3-3. Can we grab a late winner? It's Sergio Gomez. He whips it in. It's Ashley Phillips again. And Leeds are Europa League champions against Borussia Dortmund. A 4-3 victory, 57% possession, a better XG, a brace from Joe Geltart, a brace from Ashley Phillips, 2 English lads as well, helping Leeds lift a Europa League trophy. And we also come in 8th place as well, so we would have been back in Europe, just 5 points off of Champions League football, but that doesn't matter because they've got it through lifting a trophy, and it's a fantastic trophy to lift as well. As we're leaving you in a great position in terms of the transfers we did end up making this season. There was some absolute bangers, I can't lie. Number one is this guy. He's an unbelievable regen. Roland Nsakala from France, signed from Lyon. He was a bit expensive. We went a little bit overboard, £51 million, but what a talent he is. He's already wanted by Real Madrid, and you can see why. I mean, he's got absolutely everything, and he suits this sort of Leeds team to an absolute T. Mark Gahey come in, £50 million. He should have the defence and is fantastic. Him and Phillips at the back is stunning. Alberto Hoyos is another young player. Again, very good. Probably going to maybe replace Noni Madueke in your save. Played 41 games overall this season. Fantastic talent. Unbelievable signing. And Luka Ivan Swajovic as well, who you would have seen in that. He's played 8 games, 22 assists, 22 off the bench, 1 goal, 3 assists. Didn't play too much, but a free signing. And the squad is very good. Patterson, Peters, Godfrey, Gahey, Gomez, Nsakala, Madueke, Ekelkamp, Aronson, Damsgaard and Nonto. There's talent littered throughout the squad. The club info, we've got 16 youth facilities, 17 training facilities, lots of money in the bank. We're now in the Champions League. How far can you take Leeds? Make sure to come over to the Patreon if you do want to take Leeds any further. Make sure to like the video as well. Join the Discord. Sub on everything you can. I mean, Instagram, follow, Twitter, follow, subscribe on YouTube, and I'll speak to you next time. Done Southampton, we've done Leeds, and now it's time for 18th place Leicester, and probably one of the biggest rebuild jobs on our hands. Because today we're going to be starting off in the Championship using the new database that has been uploaded on Sortitoutsi, I believe, by Hood, where we're going to be taking Leicester from the Championship. It's going to be tough. It's going to be good fun. So make sure to stick around because we've got 5 years of rebuilding Leicester, hopefully back to Premier League glory. At minimum, we want back in European football. What's going on there, guys? Kempi here, and welcome back to another rebuild. And today's rebuild is Leicester, like I said in the intro. I hope you guys are all doing really well. You've had a nice weekend. I'm recording this on Friday before the FA Cup final, and my God, I hope we were champions. I hope there was a trophy lifted off my head. I'm completely aware there could be a scenario. This is a 4-0 loss. So I'm recording this video on a Friday because if we get battered, it's going to be devastating. So we're recording early on and getting involved. If you can, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And as you can see, we have got a fully realistic, updated Championship table with the correct promotions going up, the correct relegations, and it's the realistic Championship from next season, which is going to be great fun, to be honest. I mean, Leicester are a team predicted to come first in the Championship. That's with all the current players. I have gone ahead and actually done the transfers, which we will get into in just a second, but they're going to get absolutely ripped apart, in my opinion. And there's a lot of players at this club which are going to leave, and a lot of players that I have ended up selling. We're going to do no messing about today, and I'm going to show you the players I have sold and the players I have signed straight away. You can see we've got £60 million still in the bank, £1.4 million still in the wage budget. So I kept it fairly clever. We've got £106 million in the bank. The financial constraints of getting relegated to the Championship for a club like Leicester is quite literally tragic. It is not looking good. We've had to be very, very smart. Try and keep a lot of players because, well, try and sign a lot of players because a lot have left, and it might look like just 28 million coming in. It's another £113 million here, and the first one is James Maddison has gone to Manchester City to go and do a Jack Grealish for a couple of years and a Calvin Phillips, and probably end up coming back in a couple of years, I imagine, knowing Maddison. Patson Daka, I think, has had to go as well. He's a really good striker. I think it's a bit unrealistic to keep him in the Championship. 16 finishing, that unbelievable pace, acceleration and determination. He'd have absolutely tore the Championship up. So I've let him go. 26 million to Brighton. Timothy Castagna has gone to Manchester City as well. Probably as a backup wing back, let's be honest. Yannick Vestergaard has gone to West Ham. Daniel Iverson has gone to Leon in Mexico. I think he was just not good enough, to be honest. I mean, he's a leading Championship goalkeeper, but he's 25 years of age. There's not a lot of potential there. So he has gone and left the club. Another sale we have made, if we get back to that little list. Southampton has left. Yuri Tillemans has left for 1.7 million. United pretty much just paid that to secure his contract. And the rest, there is nothing else there. The other signing, the other sales I've made is Wilfred Ndidi has gone to Juventus for just 11 million, by the way, which is outrageous, but no one else wanted him. And to be fair, even his value now that he's moved is only 16 to 19 million. So Ndidi's left. Danny Ward, again, I just didn't want at the club. 30 years of age, £9 million is an absolute steal from us. Dennis Pratt has gone as well to Bordeaux. Again, a very good player, but didn't have much game time at Leicester and have decided to move in a bit of a different direction. The signings we have made, first of all, is two goalkeepers. Number one, Philip Jorgensen, same sort of quality as Dan Iverson and Danny Ward, but he's 21 years of age with 4.5-star potential. Signed from Villarreal. He's a big 6'4" lad, 6'2" lad. He's a very good goalkeeper, under 21s for Denmark and Sweden. And the other keeper is Bart Verbruggen. This guy's been linked all over the place in the Premier League. A fantastic young talent from RSC Anderlecht, 20 years of age, 6'4". 4-star potential, not quite as high as what the scouts are saying in real life, but very good young goalkeeper in Bart Verbruggen. He will be a backup for us next year. A signing was made from young boys in Switzerland, Fabian Rieder. Obviously, he had a decent season in the 21-22 season, 30 games, 2 goals. For some reason, didn't play at all last season. Was available to pick up for just 10 million. I thought it's a backup from a Swiss side. Realistic signing. Obviously, they are in the Champions League or Europa League, wherever they end up finishing in their league. But 21 years of age, a very consistent player, 5-star potential, just 11 million. I thought was a fantastic signing. Ryan Giles has come in from Wolves to be a left winger. Decent, not fantastic, pretty much here for this season to replace a few players that have gone out the door. Phil Jones. Why on earth not as a backup centre-back? Phil Jones is an absolute legend. Obviously, you know, good leadership, great heading, tackling, pace. He's probably never going to play. He's probably going to be injured all season. Of course, he's extremely injury prone. Alessandro Zanoli is another free signing we have made. 2.5-star right back. Young enough, 22 years of age, from Sampdoria and Napoli. I believe he's at Napoli, but on loan at Sampdoria. Gaetano Oristiano is coming from Inter Milan, a young striker, 20 years of age. He looks very good, decent pace, decent finish on him. Again, 5-star potential, more of a backup. Bilal Al-Khanous is going to be the other left mid sort of backup alongside, who was the other guy we just signed? Ryan Giles. Bilal Al-Khanous is going to do left mid or right mid roles. He can sort of play on both feet, so we'll train him to be an inverted winger, and he should be quite good. Not the greatest potential on him, but a decent player nonetheless. One player that I actually was quite, surprised at how cheap he was, and I've not, to be fair, heard about him in about a year's time since Jose Mourinho brought him a fresh pair of crepes. It's Felix Afenia-Gian. Fantastic pace on the young man, great finishing. I've not seen him at all on this year's FM, to be honest. He played 17 games for Napoli at Roma last season. It's not sort of brought through the stats from his season at Cremonese. Probably the same as Fabian Rieder, to be honest. But they have now been relegated to the Serie B. He is now coming for £7 million. And an absolute talent, very quick, decent finishing. Has got a little bit of a game to work upon, but he's only 20 years of age. But it has left the squad looking very different. Obviously, we are using the Ranieri 4-4-2 tactics, which I'll go through now as well. But the team is very different to what they are in the Premier League. They're going to get absolutely ripped apart, which is why I believe it is the hardest rebuild out of the three. I think Southampton have a lot of players they will keep hold of. I so think Leeds do as well. But Leicester are just way too good to go down. A lot of players will end up leaving. Jorgensen, the keeper we signed, is going to start in goal. He's a goalkeeper on defend. I think James Justin is realistic to stay at right back. He's a full back on support. Same as Luke Thomas, a Leicester lad. He's a wing back on support on the left back from cross from deep. I've got Harry Souttar and Daniel Amati as the two centre backs, both more direct passes, take fewer risks and close down less. Daniel Amati, I think, is a fantastic player. To be fair, probably a bit too good for the Championship, but I can imagine him staying around, so especially playing in his favoured centre-back position. Harvey Barnes, no one wanted this man. He's got a value of about £10 million, so I'm keeping him. I offered him out countless amounts of times. I can actually see Harvey Barnes staying. He's not had the greatest of years at Leicester this season. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but he's only a 2.5-star player in this winger and support role. He's not going to break the Championship. A decent player, but not, one that is a complete and utter standout. Winger on support on left mid, cross from deep and get further forward. Dewsbury Hall, I think, is a player again that will start and is going to be the captain of us probably for the next 5 years. Tackle harder on him. I'm not the biggest fan of Dewsbury Hall in real life, but I think he's a fantastic Championship level player and lower half Premier League player. So that is exactly what he's going to be for us for a few years, I reckon. Reader, the new signing, next to him, DLP on defend, pass it shorter and tackle harder. And Mark Albrighton has come back in that right mid role. To be fair, this man's stats are actually fantastic. I did not expect them to be anywhere near this good, but fantastic stamina. We know how good his crossing is from that title winning season. Work rate, teamwork. He's going to stay around and be an absolute key man for us, as well as Jamie Vardy. Again, I think Jamie Vardy will stay around for one more season at Leicester, get them back into the Premier League. I think he'll probably still score 20-25 goals in the Championship, so he's going to stay around. Obviously, decent stats in him, but now in the twilight of his career. And Kelechi Iheanacho as well has ended up staying. Again, he was offered out countless amounts of times, didn't get much back from him. He's a very good player, but again, someone you could see sticking around at Leicester. They've got a lot of players to sell, and I can't imagine him kicking up too much of a fuss. I think the move for him would be to sort of like a Bournemouth maybe. Maybe it's a little bit, I don't know, a Fulham, a Bournemouth, just somewhere. It wouldn't be such a big move where it's worth him to go. So he has ended up staying around. The backups is where it has really changed. We've got Bart Verbruggen as the backup goalkeeper, Zanoli as the backup right back, Voetface and Phil Jones the backup centre backs. Victor Christensen has stayed as a backup left back. He's only just signed from Copenhagen, a very good young left back. Be interested to see if he does play over Luke Thomas. Bilal Kounouz is going to be the right mid backup. Hamza Chowdhury and Sami Braybrook are the two midfield backups. Both Dewsbury Hall and Reader are very, very strong. So Chowdhury and Braybrook, two younger players, are going to occupy them roles. Ryan Giles as the backup left mid, and then Ostiano and Afina Gianni, the backups to Iheanacho and Vardy. Again, two extremely strong players. The Championship's a hard season, a hard league to get out of. We are predicted to come first. I don't expect us to storm the league. I don't expect it to be an easy season whatsoever. Southampton, a very strong side. You can see they've pretty much kept hold of everyone. If we look for the team, as Bazunu, Peters, Keletakar, Salisu, Ward-Prowse, Lavia. We are still in July, but a lot of the players have stayed about. Leeds as well, still an extremely strong side. Not only players pushing to leave, obviously a few. Nonto's happy to be in the Championship. He's going to absolutely tear it up, as is Sinistera. Leeds and Southampton, I think, are definitely stronger than us. It'll be interesting to see what we can do this season. We're going to go forward now to the end of the first season, and hopefully we're back in the Premier League with Leicester. Let's go forward 12 months. You guys can make sure as well just to like the video, subscribe to the channel and follow on all these 4 wonderful things, as well as coming over to Patreon, where this save file will be available for you guys to download. It is available only on Patreon now, no longer on Discord. So if you do want to download this Leicester save from season 5, or at any point within the next month, if you want this save from sort of a certain point, I'll be keeping the save files sort of 2, 3, 4, and obviously end of season 1 as well. If you want the end of season 1 experience, let me know on Patreon if you are going to come over and do that one. I'll send that individually to you. Obviously, that is massive support to myself as well, so I appreciate anyone for even liking the video, commenting, subscribing. But anyone that comes to Patreon, you're an absolute legend. Your name will be on the screen. We've got Brandon so far, who has gone through Patreon. Scott as well. So both of you absolute legends, Brandon and Scott. Thank you for coming over to the Patreon. Obviously, this rebuild file will be available to both of you in Patreon. If anyone else wants that, you have got to come over to there and gain access. So 12 months into the future, it's a playoff final. It's Ipswich versus Leicester. It's a big, big game. It's Ipswich on the attack in the first 20 minutes. It's Leif Davis on the ball. He crosses it in, and Vidovic, a fantastic signing for Ipswich, scores to make it 1-0. It's Luke Thomas on the ball, finds Ryan Giles in that left mid row. What's he going to do with the ball? He's going to go long, switch the play to Harvey Barnes, and he's going to put it in the back of the net for 1-1 on the 46th minute. Next up is Iheanacho. He finds Harvey Barnes. No, he doesn't. It's intercepted by Leif Davis. A great ball through to Vidovic again. Phil Jones with a heroic challenge, but Chaplin blasts the ball into the top corner. Dewsbury Hall in midfield. It's 2-1 Leicester, 72nd minute. He's going to find Kelechi Iheanacho. He's going to get it across to Afenia Gian, and he's going to put it 2-2 and put us into extra time. It's Harry Suter on the ball. It's James Justin down the right-hand side. He finds Harvey Barnes. He finds Iheanacho, and it's 3-2 to Leicester. Is that all she wrote? We're going to get one more highlight. It's a long ball forward. Zanoli clears it. Reader on the ball. Plays through Afenia Gian, and he's 1-1, and it's 4-2, and we're back in the Premier League. This season was extremely, extremely tough. Ipswich were outrageous this year. Back up from League One. It took them no time at all to get going well. 5 teams over 90 points. We ended up going 5th, and the worst out of that. 5 points clear was champion Southampton. 94 points Leeds. 91 points Ipswich. 91 points Blackburn. 90 points Leicester. We struck through just about. Vardy becoming the top 3 in goal scorers is fantastic. Data hub-wise, we're looking at 1.94 goals per game, conceding just 1 goal a game. And the goals, Vardy with 30, but Felix Afenia Gian in 24 starts scored 27 goals. Like I've said, I've not seen this guy on my saves at all. He performs like an absolute trooper. 23 off the bench as well. 27 goals, 6 assists. Extremely impressive. Kelechi Iheanacho, the other starting striker with Vardy, just 19 goals and 9 assists. Albrighton, it was a shock to keep him around, but when he bags 19 assists and 9 goals in the Championship, you have to. Harvey Barnes, 7 goals, 11 assists. He done quite well. Harry Suter, 2 goals, 5 assists from Ryan Giles, 4 assists from Reader, 6 from Luke Thomas, 3 from Bilal Alcunis, 3 from Justin as well. And money in the bank, you know, I knew it would deplete a fair bit. Obviously, we got us right up to sort of £166 million. Ended up going down to 104, but it's left us with £55 million in the bank to go back up into the Premier League and secure survival. So we've got some busy windows to go through. It's a massive season. We'll go back up with Southampton and Leeds in the Premier League. Coming down is going to be Luton on 21 points, Burnley on 22 points, Sheffield United on 32 points. It's like the start of FM23 all over again. Let's get right into it, get some transfers going, and hopefully we can build on that decent season in the Championship. So obviously after getting up into the Premier League, we had some players we had to go out and sign. We did it all in the same window as last, which is why it might look a little bit weird. We didn't sign Phil Jones twice. We signed other players. First of all is Nicolo Paz. He come in, went straight out on loan to Peterborough in the League One, in the Championship. Managed to get 38 games in the Championship as well for him. He's still got 5-star potential. Signed for just £2.5 million. Absolute bargain. Very happy with that one. £7.5 million was Silvano Vos as well. Signed from Ajax, I believe he is. £26 million he's worth now. Played only 3 games this season as a backup midfielder, but 2.5-star potential, 5-star potential ability. So, you know, looking very good for Silvano Vos. Rooney Bargi come in. I feel like it's a very Leicester signing. Taking a risk on someone from sort of the Danish leagues. A risk that paid off. 42 appearances, 7 goals, 13 assists for Rooney Bargi. It's no surprise this guy is an absolute talent, but I feel like it's quite a realistic signing for Leicester. Like I say, that sort of taking a risk on a young player is very Leicester thing to do. And for just 9.75 million as well, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're not going for it. Nardoni has come in, a young Argentinian from Racing Club, signed for just £12 million. A very good backup midfielder to both Ruda and Dewsbury Hall. 11 games, 15 off the bench, 6.76 average rating. Not the best, but you know, not awful either. Giovanni Simeone was the man we brought in to replace Jamie Vardy, who retired at the end of last season. 42 appearances, 25 goals, 7 assists. This man absolutely smashed it. Obviously, he's not a youngster anymore. He's 29 years of age. But what a season for Giovanni Simeone. From fantastic finishing stats. He's determined, he's quick, he likes to beat the offside trap as well, which I really like about him and was a key to signing him. Next signing we made was Cengiz Under. Obviously has been here at Leicester before, 2020, 2021 as a backup winger. Again, decent, very similar performance to how we done at Leicester last time, mainly off the bench, 28 appearances. Didn't really contribute too much, but for just £10 million, you know, an older head again. Bring him in and seeing what he can do. Abkar Sila is an outrageous centre-back on this year's game. He's got 20 leadership, 20 aggression, 16 bravery, some decent heading stats as well. He's quick, he's fantastic. He's 6'2" from Club Brugge. Only a 6.76 average rating, but 36 appearances over the season. Already worth 50 million. What a signing he was for just 15. And the last season signing we made was Georgi Mamadashvili. Wanted to leave Valencia, coming back into the Premier League again. Quite a realistic sort of Leicester signing. Conceded 50 goals this year of 38 appearances, which isn't too bad. It probably shows you about how we did it in the Premier League. Only conceded 50 goals all season. A 7.06 average rating. A very good young goalkeeper. And you're all sitting there saying, Will, you're taking too long to get to the competition screen. Well, here you go. I've even misclicked that, haven't I? We've got £52 million next season. The competition screen. What a season. We're back in European football already. 6th place for Leicester after 1 season in the Premier League back in. I mean, it was a decent start, which slumped right down, and then we pretty much had a sort of middle topsy-turvy season and then just secured ourselves in this top 7 for the whole season. We were 2 points off going from Championship to Champions League in 1 season. That'd have been absolutely outrageous. The team performed very well this season. Simeone and Hinacho getting all the goals, 49 between them. Bargi having a fantastic season, 7-13. Harvey Barnes, 4 goals, 4 assists. The geezer just can't perform. And Afinia Gian is fantastic in the Championship, not quite as good in the Premier League. 5 games starting, 25 off the bench. Just the 1 goal for Felix. So we'll see if we do end up moving on from him. But very happy with how he performed this season. A much stronger season than sort of real life, this sort of league. Obviously, we're 2 years in the future from this season in real life, but very, very good. Very, very happy with this. We're looking at a new centre-back next season to partner Sela and a new striker to partner Simeone. So get your guesses in down below who they're going to be. We have got a lot of money. You know, that money you do get from getting back in the Premier League depletes very, very quickly. But back up to £62 million. We need to be clever with our signings. But we are back in Europe, so let's see what we can do. The end of Season 3 we're going to sim to now. Let's get right into it. We started on highlights last season. We're starting on them again. It's the Europa League final, and on the ball to start things off is a new signing in Datro Fofana. We'll get into the signings in just 2 secs, but I thought I'd have to show you another final. And it's Datro Fofana from the right hand side, switches the play to Harvey Barnes. He finds Kieran Dewsbury Hall, who scores to put Leicester 1-0 up in just 10 minutes in a European final. And they got a red card. And Reader was on the ball. He sends it long to Datro Fofana yet again, who finds Iheanacho in the box. And he scores again to make it 2-0. And in the first half, Iheanacho makes it 3-0 from the spot. And we were Europa League winners. Just like that in 2 seasons of my management under the Ranieri 4-4-2. We've got Leicester back into the Champions League. And I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing to say that, because it was an 8th place finish in the Premier League, which, given the fact we had European football, given the fact that this is this horrible new sort of disgusting, league phase of 36 teams playing 400 games, we still managed to come second in that. The start to the Premier League was fairly mid, but we picked it up and we got right up into 8th place, and then we won the whole bloody thing, and now we're back into the Champions League. So fantastic news for Leicester back in the Champions League after 7 years in real life, I guess 9 in game time. The signings we didn't make too many, but the ones we made were fantastic. Number 1, Datro Fofana, 45 games this season, 14 goals, 16 assists. And he played lots of games up front. He also played, like in that final, from the right mid position. So a very versatile young player. Signed from Chelsea. Again, I didn't think it was too unrealistic for signing. Had a loan in the Championship with Southampton. Then come back to Chelsea, didn't play too much. We picked him up, 39 million. Obviously, Chelsea have made some outrageous profit, but I've got a feeling we're going to make some outrageous profit on this man as well. Fantastic signing on him. Benoit Badiashile as well. Again, didn't play at Chelsea his whole 2 years. We're a European football side. Another decent, realistic signing. Played 24 times in the league for us, and is a very good centre-back. He's 6'4", he's 25 years of age, he's in his, coming up to sort of learning his trade fully and becoming into his prime. What a signing he was as well. And then there's 2 man here, which you're just not even going to believe. Alex Scott, we picked up on basically a free contract. This was his compensation. He didn't go in the first summer. What on earth? He's been in the Championship smashing it, and now he's coming to the Premier League and is now a Champions League player. Played 24 times this game, 7 off the bench. To be honest, is one of the 4 in rotation, along with the next man as well, Conor Gallagher. Only played 8 games this season, which probably shows how good our team is already. I mean, fantastic player, Conor Gallagher. I think is quite a Leicester signing, to be honest. A free contract from Chelsea. Again, hasn't played many games. Realistic signing. Very happy to get him in. Anyone leaving the door was Bilal Kunis, has gone to Luton, who come back in the Championship and have not got promoted again. Rest in peace to Luton. You've had your fun in the Premier League with the looks of it. Marcel Madavudia has gone to Estrella, young Portuguese man, and Bart Verbruggen as well we have given up on. We've sold him to Getafe. In terms of the sales last year, we've not had too many. Development Centre, there's not a lot of talent coming through at Leicester. It's weird because they, like Club Info, they've got 19 youth facilities, but they stink at junior coaching and youth recruitment. So, yeah, it's difficult to get players through the door sometimes, that are at that sort of level. So, we've gone out and we've had to sign a couple. We signed Voss and Paz. And we've got Chris Popov, who is here already. He's a decent young Welsh winger. Probably isn't going to amount to anything. Still trying to sell Amati and Samari. Pretty much impossible. In the under-18s, there's a couple of good players. I mean, given the fact we've got 19 in youth recruitment, you'd think we'd be a bit better than this. But Marlon Shrive's stats are unbelievable, to be fair to him. He's 5'5". He's a little 18-year-old lad. He's played 27 games in League One, however, with a 6.59. So, in-game, maybe he's not that good. Maybe he's a bit too small, being 5'5". So we'll see if he ever amounts to much. Damien Riche, as well, is another player, just 15 years of age. Danny Edge is a young winger. Again, I doubt they'll ever come into anything on our save, but if you guys do pick this up, they might be key man for you. We're going to go now into season number 4. We're in the Champions League. It's going to be tough. Let's see how tough that is going to be. Well, it was a nice couple of seasons. I've come back to you with trophies to show you and games to show you at the end of the season of us winning things. But not this time. 16th place. We've had an absolute fall from grace. The Champions League was much more difficult than expected. I mean, the league phase, we done okay. We come 18th, but we just had an absolute stinker of a season, to be honest. And we just survived on 40 points. There's not much else I can say. Transfers-wise, we go into the transfer history. We signed a couple of players, not too many. Rico Lewis come in for $5 million from Man City. Again, not played too many games for us, well, for them. So we come in here, played 30 overall, 17 off the bench, but dropped to 6.52. That's not very good, is it? Next up, João Fonseca, 15 million. Didn't play too much, but 5-star potential. Unbelievable centre-back on this year's game. Next one is Renan Lodi. £25 million spent on him to drop a 6.66 over 44 games. Renan, what's going on, my good friend? Jan Calvici is another player that we brought in. Fantastic young regen, 5-star potential. £55 to £77 million already. Slightly injury prone, not so great, but a very good young player. Played one time this season, 11 off the bench, 1 goal, 1 assist. This man, unbelievable. Signed from PSG. He's from Qatar as well. It's a fantastic new Qatari regen. 1 game, 10 off the bench. I didn't expect him to play too much, but 19 flair, 16 technique. Just cannot finish. He's going to be loaned out, but he's worth £70 million already. So he could be great fun for you. Ahmed Al-Kawari looks brilliant. And Andre Gomez has been brought in as well, a young backup centre-back to back up Mamardashvili. Leaving the club eventually was Salvinio Voss. We signed him for like nothing, £5 million. Sold him for 20. A decent sort of turnaround on him. Felix Jan as well. We signed him for 7.5. He got us promoted. He had a decent couple of years, and now he's gone to Celtic for $7.5 million. Very Celtic player, I've got to say. And Nicolo Paz, again, just never really developed into too much. Signed for 2.5, sold for 5.5. One of the best things in FM you can do is know when to cut your losses, and that is exactly what we've done with a few of them young players. The squad is looking decent, but just an awful, awful season. We're looking at improving the left mid role, the striker role, the centre-back role. And I think Datro Fofana is going to end up leaving as well. In fact, I'm going to tell you, Datro Fofana leaves for £80 million to Manchester City. So we're going to have some serious cash to add to this 60. Let's see what we can do. There's a few players that are really looking to leave the club. I've got a busy window to get us back into the Champions League, or at least European football. So I'm going to go forward now to the end of this absolute stinker of a season, get into the last one, and show you guys where we finished up for season number 5. The last season then of Rebuilding Leicester. If you guys again can make sure, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below on who you think our best signing has been. Knowing they made the profit of 80 million on Datro Fofana, does that swing you one way or the other? Now the signings we made for this season, first of all, it's Oscar from Brighton, young Spanish man playing for Sevilla in real life. Well, he moved to Newcastle a few years ago, was a sort of bit part player there, very good talent. Moved to Brighton for £26 million, and he's again not played too much. We played quite over the odds for him, but as a left midfielder and winger on support, this guy is fantastic. Very good player, very determined, great decision making, fantastic, very consistent, enjoys big matches. So he's been brought in. 43 games this season, 1 goal and 6 assists. And the next man has been Noah Okafor, young striker. He's now 28 years of age in our game save. 30 starts, 7 goals, 8 assists. A fantastic player, very consistent as well. A decent player to sign and worth 28 to 33 million pounds. Next up is Bruno Mendes from Corinthians, a guy I've never seen in my life before. He looks decent. 35 games, only a 6.67 average rating, 16 bravery, 17 anticipation, the triple threat of defensive, 14, 14, 15, great positioning, great work rate. 5'11" is the only issue with him, but a very good young man indeed. I'm very happy to get him in. Zito has been signed from Cagliari from Angola. He is actually at Cagliari in real life, has now sort of come into his prime. 31 appearances this season, 3 goals, 5 assists with a 7 average rating. And the signing to replace the man with the legend Datro Fofana is Vitinha. This guy in real life is at Marseille and has had a fantastic season for them in real life. He's extremely consistent. He loves a big match. and he can finish like hell. 26 goals in 38 games for him, 5 assists, a 7.21 rating, has propelled Leicester back to the Champions League, albeit by coming in 5th place, just 1 point above Liverpool, 1 point away from Manchester City. If you had said that at the start, you'd have probably said we were challenging for the title, but it's United who are now champions. I hope we were champions yesterday, and I hope you guys can take this Leicester side to champions. It's very, very strong. It's a very good young team as well. There's lots of players here that you guys will enjoy using, so make sure, like I said, if you are going to be able to support, come over to the Patreon, support me and get this save file for doing so as well. Thank you guys for liking the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and I'll speak to you next time.